Read what Mugabe's NPF party said about removing Mnangagwa's coup government in Independence Message. Harare, April 17, 2018. The National Patriotic Front wishes to congratulate the people of Zimbabwe on the occasion of our country's 38th independence celebrations. This year's celebrations, 5 months after the army grabbed power from the constitutionally elected government of our country's founding father, President Robert Mugabe, are a double-headed janus. We are, of course, happy that we have attained 38 years as a country, but sad that we have allowed a few rogue elements among us to usurp power from the people. As we celebrate 38 years of our existence as a nation-state, we should reflect on the fundamental values that make us a people, the values gallant sons and daughters of this country put their lives on the line for. We should remind ourselves that the liberation war which brought the independence that we am celebrating today, was fought in order to achieve self-determination and to build a democratic country where black and white would enjoy together as envisioned by General Josiah Mnangagwa. The Zimbabwe we should be celebrating today is one in which our swords were supposed to be turned into plowshares, as aptly put by our founding president, Mugabe. It is a Zimbabwe that was built on the rock of national reconciliation, itself a nation-state informed by the Liberation War dictum that politics leads the gun. However, we find ourselves today, in an uncanny situation where those we entrusted with spears to protect the people, never turn their weapons into productive instruments for social security, but, instead turn them into weapons of usurping power from the people, instruments of coercion not protection. As we celebrate our independence, we should be cognizant of the plight of those whose fathers, mothers, sons and daughters were killed internally and externally displaced, raped and maimed during the November 15, 2017 coup. Our thoughts should be with those that were tortured, harassed and humiliated for trying to protect a constitutionally elected people's government. We reflect, today, on the reversal of the gains we had made as a country, in our attempts to fulfill the objectives of our liberation struggle. Today, our people who had gotten land, the top national grievance that led thousands to take up arms against the racist Ian Smith regime, face the gloom reality of that land being returned to our erstwhile colonizers by, ironically, the people who staged a coup to restore the legacy of our founding fathers. We are saddened today that the coup plotters am sacrificing all the pro-black and empowerment policies that President Mugabe had introduced in order to get recognition and endorsements from our former colonizers. It is sad that as we celebrate our 38th year of self-determination, we are faced with the gloom reality of an illegal regime doing everything to reverse the land and indigenization policies that had been set in motion as vehicles for creating a generation of black landowners and industrialists, all under the guise of a useless anecdote that decrees Zimbabwe is open for business. We, today, stand by the graves of Joshua Mkabuko Nyongolokomo, Alfred Nikita Manjna, Simon Venge Simuzinda, Sally Mugabe, Josiah Mnangagwa, Drex Tapfumani Solomon Mujaru, and many others who either lie at the National Heroes Acre or elsewhere, even in unmarked graves, and ask the question, is this the Zimbabwe we want? We come in the spirit of Mbuyana and Sakaru Kagvi and ask the question, is this what you died for? We introspect, intellect and ponder over what needs to be done. Yes, we should talk of how nurses can be incentivized to go back to work. We should also plan on how teachers should be made to stay in the classroom, how our soldiers can be made to concentrate on provision of national security that we badly need, and indeed, we should have a plan on how the whole civil service should be empowered in order for smooth policy implementation. But, we need to confront the elephant in the room first, which is an illegitimate and illegal government which is the result of the November 2017 coup. Today, we should come to our senses and realize that an illegitimate and illegal government cannot proffer solutions to the cash crisis. It cannot build new rail infrastructure because it has no mandate to do those things. In NPF we understand the plight of our people in the rural areas. We are aware that ZANU-PF under Emerson Mnangagwa is threatening to take away land from resettled black farmers and hand it back to former white farmers. We are cognizant of the dangers that cholera and other diseases pose to our people in both rural and urban centers and the need for a clear and sustainable health system that guarantees longevity to our most precious resource, the human resource. We know the dire need for immediate retooling of the manufacturing industry in order for us to have cheaper, locally produced goods in tea market and jobs for our people. We understand the importance of foreign direct investment, but we believe that with a domestic debt of $11 billion compared to $5 billion external, there is empirical capacity by our local investor to put money into our economy should the right environment and incentives obtain. Therefore, Zimbabwe should be open for business, first to the locals, indigenization, before opportunities are sold out to foreigners for quick loot to line pockets of those that have been looting our diamonds, gold and platinum. Today we urge every Zimbabwean to look the regime in eye and declare that independence means self-determination, not military rule. We should restore our country back to civilian rule, back to the people. If the day we are celebrating today should have meaning, we urge our people to register to vote in the harmonized elections due in 3 months, for this is an opportunity to address the illegality presiding over the affairs of this country. We should vote out the coup government to restore the legacy of majority that our independence brought us. May God bless us all.